Alright, let's start off with this. What's the formula for area? Alex, A equals what? Who can tell me why I put the letter L in the script? Cody. Right, and we don't use capital letters when we use variables, so we're going to use that little L in script. So it doesn't get confused with the number 1. What has been normally assumed is that they give you the length, they give you the width, and you got to find the area. But as you can see, they give you the area, and they're asking you to find one of the sides. First of all, what's the area? Pause. Right, all I'm going to do is take this 180, and what's that word again that we use? We substituted for the A, so now it becomes 180 equals. What else do they give you? Ben. Which is what? Right. I'm not going to worry about the millimeters, inches, feet, whatever units they have. Let's just deal with numbers. Times what? Times W. I was going to get to that. I want you guys, sometimes you'll see, and we'll get to it, they'll give you the width and then ask you to find the length. I still want you to put the coefficient before the letter, because remember, multiplication is commutative. It can be multiplied in any order. So if they give you the width and ask you to find the length, I still want you to reverse it. I want you to put the coefficient right before the letter every single time. How are we going to solve this? Now that you know what you know, what do I do? Pause. And we're going to show that work down here. It becomes a railroad track problem. Just like we've been doing, make the tracks. And what am I going to do? Pause. What? Say it again. Yep. My goal is still to get W by itself. Isolate the variable. What do I have to do on the other side of the tracks? Absolutely. Tree, what cancels out? You got it. That's routine, right? Now, there's always work over on the right, or blank space on the right side for you to do the math that's necessary. So you got to do 15 into 180, and some of you can do it in your head, and that's great. But if not, there's still space on the right for you to do the work. I don't necessarily need to see it, because if you do know it in your head, that's fine. But the space is there. Still, what do you got? Then, in our answer, we have to tack on the units. 12 what? Is it millimeters or square millimeters? Just millimeters. They give you the area, which is in square millimeters. When you're just trying to find the length of the side, it's just straight units, millimeters in this case. Okay? Let's go to example 1, which is really no different from what we just did. Well, that I'm gonna skip this question, and I'll tell you why. It may be more time efficient if you just know it in your head. Granted, it might be easier for you to say, oh, I just know 15 times 12 is 180. But the idea is I want you to start taking word problems, not just area and volume, but being able to use algebraic equations in order to find what it is you're trying to find. So we're kind of incorporating two skills at once: your knowledge of area and volume, and your knowledge of algebraic equations into one problem. And most often, if you are taking the final, well, you definitely take a final, you're taking the state assessment. I realize a lot of you are not taking it, but if you do take the state assessment, a lot of the times they will bundle equation questions with area and volume and expect you to show a method in doing algebraic equations. So I've got to kind of train you for that if you're taking it. And also, it's good math. It's good math. A lot of the times it's advanced level thinking, and you realize, okay, I got to use an equation to figure out a missing side. So it's good to know it. So maybe it takes a little bit longer, but not that much. not that much longer, where it's going to only be, you know, hours and hours upon hours. What formula are we going to use? Because as you'll see, when we get through these examples, it won't always be area that they're asking for. What formula are we using? Del. Okay, so write it out. And remember, you're doing formulas or equations. So it's A equals, it's not just L times W. It's A equals L times W. All right, Sophia, you ready? 100. It's substituted in for what? I don't want him to guess. I want him to be sure. Are you sure? Good. What about 10? All right, Luke. Now watch what I'm going to do. You okay with that move? Okay. Always put the coefficient before the variable. What do I do now? Hannah. Not yet, because I haven't done anything. I haven't done the inverse operation yet. What do I have to do to both sides before I can cross anything out? If this confuses you, take this out for a minute. That's my equation right now. 100 equals 10L. What am I going to do? Right now it's being multiplied. What's the opposite of multiply? By how much? Look at the side that has the variable. What am I doing to L? Right, by how much? Right now, L is being multiplied by 10. We got to do the opposite. Say it again. Correct. What do I got to do to the other side? Oh. All right, what cancels out? Phil. Yep. Phil, what's the only thing that's left on the right side? What's the only thing that's left on the left side? The length is 10. 10 what? Inches. I'm going to say inches. Raise your hand. I'm going to say square inches. If the area is already in square inches, then you're asked to find a side. The side is inches. What's that about?
11 inches.
It can, but not. He's right. We need to keep it consistent in the units. So let's make it centimeters. Okay? Good call on that. True point, but it's all squares are rectangles, not all rectangles are squares. So we're okay with it, but you're right. You wind up realizing that after you do this type of rectangle is indeed a square because the sides are 10 by 10. Okay? And as you'll see as we go through these, okay, we're going to do area, we're going to try to find missing sides of squares. If they give you one side, I want you to kind of go through the railroad method to see that the other side is indeed equal. You'll see, we'll get to it. All right, let's do this one. All right, let's do it. Give me a number and tell me where I substituted in for. When you heard out, you started. Give me any number you want to sub in, because you can You can sub in any of the numbers that are given at any time. It doesn't have to necessarily be in order. You just got to put it in the right spot. Okay. That takes care of 99. Okay, you want to do one? Come on, try it. 11's got to go somewhere. You tell me, is the 11 the length or is it the width? Okay, so I'm going to substitute in 11 for what letter? Correct. Okay, the equation has been made. Solve it using railroad tracks. I'll call you up to the board. When you're ready, I'm going to call people randomly. Oh, yes. Shock of easy. Formula for an area. A equals. Yellow wants the sun. A equals. Come on, focus. What? You got it. Alright, ready? Geneva. Give me something to substitute in. Anything you want. Goes where? Goes where? You got it. Zode. Alright. Now, you gotta kind of play a little dumb here. Say, oh, wait a minute, it's a square. It's one side's 20, the other side's 20, right? I still want you to go through railroad tracks to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's good that you made the realization because that's good. I want you to use common sense. But let's go through it, and make sure that it works. Okay. 20 was whatever side you want to call it, length or width. Technically, you could say that the area of a square is side times side. That's or side squared. You could do it that way. Length, width, just remember that all rectangles, all squares are rectangles. So use length times width. I don't care what you call what's what, because it's commutative. So if you want to call it L, then it's 20W. If you want to call it the length or the width, then it's 20L. It doesn't matter. Track it out. Practice the process. We know it's going to be 20. But I want you to show the steps and practice the process anyway. Divide both sides by what? Yes. Show the cancellation. What cancels? Yes. It's always good to see it over and over again so it becomes routine. John, what's left on the right side? What's left on the right side after the cancellation? Take it piece by piece. Yes. 400 divided by 20. Obviously, it's got to be the same exact length of the other side, right, Anna? It's a square, right? So we have 20, in this case it's inches. All right, here comes volume. You can do this. Honestly, you can do this. You're just now dealing with, you'll see, they're going to give you 3 numbers, and you got to find that 4th number, or that missing side. Start off with the equation. What's the equation for volume? V equals what? Murmur. Length times width times height. LWH. All you gotta now do is use the numbers that they give you and put them in the right spot. Substitute them in the right spot. Where does 30 go? Buzz. That's my volume. Correct. they giving you? They're giving you width and height, so they're not giving you length. I'm going to put the L in still for length because they're not giving. That's fine. What's the width? Alex.
3.
Okay. Remember, I have to add the dots if I put two numbers next to each other, but you'll see we're going to combine like terms to make a nice, neat expression on the right side. Phil, what's my width? Sorry, what's my height? It's combining like terms. Put this into one expression to put the coefficient before the variable. Simplify this side. Combine like terms. If I give this to you on a quiz, L times 3 times 2, how would you write it? You just did it a couple weeks ago. Good, L. 6L. Okay? That's why we do combining like terms in lessons, whatever it was, 7? No, 8 was distributed property. 7. I think it was 6. I think it was 6. This still stays 30, and now you're right back to what you've been doing all along. So, now what?
5 by 6.
Correct. What do I got to do on the other side?
5 by 6.
Correct. What cancels on the right side?
6.
Correct. What's left? On the right side.
Oh.
She's on fire. What's 30 divided by 6? Got it. 5 units in this case because they don't give you inches, feet, centimeters, or anything. Alright, let me give you a sneak preview of what to expect next period. Little sneak preview. There is no advanced set, but you will all be doing advanced problems. When you start getting to the ones with decimals, and you know there's division involved, you got to remember how to do long division. And I can help you through it if you get stuck. What I don't want you to do is kind of copy off of each other. Remember that when you do decimals, you've got to move the decimal if you have a decimal outside the house. Remember that? Right, you got to make it a whole number outside the house if you're dealing with decimal outside the house. So you'll have to experience that with number 2 because I don't want using calculators. With number 3, you have the whole numbers here, but you'll see when you do this, you'll actually get a decimal as an answer. So just be aware of that. Same thing here, you're dealing with decimals. Dealing with decimals. It's a square, so if you want to do, I'm not asking you to do a check, but if you do it right, you should get 8.3 on the other side. But I want you to go through the math and prove it. And then, don't start this page yet. This is page 7, so I'm going to ask you guys to do, definitely for next period, I want you to end after page 6, whatever. Okay, let's see where everybody's at, and then I'll decide what if we're going to do homework, and if so, what pages. That's going on the blog. You realize that your begging is going on the blog. It's very pathetic, actually.